I'm proposing, wow, that went really loud. I'm proposing this alternative motion for this item as I feel this addresses the concerns I hold over the process, understanding and engagement. To date, we do not have any clear costings, both short-term and long-term, for any options being proposed. We have no clear pathway forward or a clear enough understanding of what the site's users and the wider community actually want. This alternative motion addresses this by allowing us to be strategic and ensure that any decisions made on the site is clearly understood by all. While I can understand the officer's logic in closing this site, I am not a supporter of closing locations or services without a clear plan moving forward that ensures our community is not disadvantaged in the long run from any decisions made by council. The Crookshanks Sporting Arena has been a big part of our community's history, and we owe it to her and our future generations to ensure that whatever is done at the site, it is always and remains to be in the best interest for Kalgoorlie-Boulder as a whole. This motion proposes the first key steps in this journey to achieve that. I hope my fellow councillors around the table will see this also and will support this alternative motion.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Councillor Turner as seconder. So, Councillor Turner, you will have to stand. We haven't moved the motion to abandon standing orders for that item just yet. Thank you.
Okay, so firstly I'd like to support Councillor Winner in his motion, and I'm very happy to second it, and I'm very happy that he's brought an alternative motion with such detail for us to be able to discuss such an important item that has been, let's say, around in the community for a couple of years now. We've seemed to have got no way forward on it and gone, I feel, backwards on it. As Councillor Winner said, the Crookshanks Sporting Arena is nostalgic in heart for many of the Kalgoorlie-Boulder residents. But not only that, it is a centrally located, large land holding that not only has it provided a lot in the terms of amenity, in the fact of mainly recreational services that it has offered the city, but for us to look at to just close something like that without clear planning and process and also consultation, I think would be very poor and just the most easy option for us. The fact that we still have users there that find it a very important place for them to be able to conduct their business and that they all feel that they have very important services to offer our community cannot be discounted. The most important thing here I have also looked at is that we have never had a full financial analysis of what all these options are. There has been so much scuttlebutt in the community and I feel misinformation that it is very important that we not only investigate all our options instead of just closing a facility, but we also sit down with those user groups and have open and frank discussions so that we can understand the position that they're in, their current usage of the site, and perhaps if we are looking at redeveloping it, that maybe we can explore developing it with them in conjunction. And we also have to be very mindful that this is a state government owned facility, that we only have a management order on it, so it's very important that we also engage in the state government the whole way along and make sure that we make the best decisions for everybody in our community. And these sometimes aren't always financial decisions, so I think we need to look that we have a responsibility as a council to make sure we explore every single option. I just don't feel that we've done that yet.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Speaker against? Speaker for? Councillor Johnson.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. It's come back, but this time it's come back with a little bit more substance, some more direction. It's come back with a date. It's come back with a process. And that's what I think the users of Crookshanks want. But not only just users of Crookshanks, I think it's those in the community that want a facility which is an asset to our city to actually be an asset to our city. Over the last 5 years, sadly, it's just fallen into total disrepair. And that's reflected on some interesting comments that have been made about we can't do anything extra in there because it's in disrepair. Well, the reason it's in disrepair is because the city's put it in disrepair, because if you like, the facilities that have community groups attached to it are doing their bit. The other part is not happening. This will now flesh out, fix up, and move this forward. I think what we need to do as a group, Crookshanks can be one of the best assets we have in this city. It's a patch of land, a massive piece of land, which isn't being used properly. I will support this all the way like I have from the get-go. And I also think that moving forward, bringing the community on side will get some action and traction down there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Speaker against. Speaker for, Councillor Botica.
Yeah, I'd like to support this motion as well because Cruikshank Oval has got a substantial amount of historical value to the community and it's actually added to the fabric of the community. I think it's a really good idea that we actually have a roundtable discussion with the users at the facility because that's something that's been lacking. I know that there has been some approaches from people to have those meetings, but for all of us to be able to sit down and to be able to get our head around it and to explore it is certainly the best way forward. Community consultation and sort of reaching out to the community and listening to their views about how they want to utilise that too is really important. As Councillor Turner said, it is a state government facility, but I think that we can do a fair bit more with it.
Thank you, Councillor Botica. Speaker for, Speaker against. Speaker for, Councillor O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too support Councillor Winner's motion. I think Councillor Johnson was very free and liberal with his comment of the last 5 years it's falling into disrepair. I still think sometimes it looked like that back in the 80s and 90s. But in going forward, I do hope whatever we do and if we decide to maintain Cruikshanks on the agenda, whoever is responsible for various assets or whatever is identified and held to account going forward. We don't want to be spending so much time, so much money in rectifying it is at the moment and then let it fall back again in years to come and we're back at the table again with the same issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Donnell. Speaker against. Speaker for. Before the mover has a right to reply, can I commend you, Councillor Winner, with the way in which this particular motion has come together. I know that Councillor Johnson and yourself at our recent briefing hammed this out quite significantly, so I just want to say my thanks to that because I think this is probably where I felt we were previously. So I think we've got a point now where we're at the here and now, and then we've got a forward look into the future of Cruikshank, which is what our community and a lot of angst in our community has been driven by. So to me, we are at the red light and the bell in regards to our future moving forward for Cruikshanks. Mover has a right of reply. Councillor Winner.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, I welcome the comments around the table and thank my fellow councillors for them. This motion at its absolute core and at the absolute principle of it is making sure that the decisions that this council will make are both informed. We provide as many options as we can and it's done in consultation with our community. At the end of the day, this is a community asset. We're very fortunate to be in positions where we're caretakers of that asset and city officers have requested for some time now, and I know we've been working through this for a number of years to try to get to this point of what the best process moving forward, and I truly believe this is going to give us that option. It's going to provide that clear direction for the city officers. They can move forward with this, who have also been stuck in a holding pattern, and more than anything else, it's going to give our community a bit more assurance in terms of where we're going and what we're doing by including them in that journey. So I do encourage all councillors to vote in support of this motion. And I look forward that if it is successful, the work that's going to come next and really looking at what can we do with this incredible asset moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Councillors, I put the vote for you on item 15.3.2 that we have moved forward this evening. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried 9-0. We resume back to our agenda tonight and we can answer your question, Mr Sayers, now by the alternate motion which was there. So there will be a roundtable meeting with current user groups and council to better understand that position, and there will also be the opportunity to appoint an appropriate and investigate and engage with an appropriate external consultant in regards to the strategic future of the venue as well. Thank you, Mr Sayers, for your question tonight. Thank you. Item 7, with no other further questions, is petitions, deputations and presentations, which there are none this evening, Mr CEO. Item 8, notations of interests. We have an impartiality on item 15.3.3, the City of Kalgoorlie-Boulder Cemetery Board. Councillor Johnson declaring that impartiality. He is the chair of the Cemetery Board. Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Now, moving forward, there are no other financial interests or proximity interests this evening. No leave of absence have been provided. We've all taken our holidays. Item 9.2 is a procedural motion to suspend standing orders. This particular section requires members of council to rise to speak and that be suspended. So now we can sit and discuss, councillors, as opposed to standing. Can I get a mover for that particular procedural motion? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Moved, Deputy Mayor. Seconded, Councillor Winner. No discussion. Carried 9-0. Item 10, mayoral announcements. There are 2 this evening, which I will, in fact, there are probably 3 to be honest, but I'll split it up into 2. Item 1 is the annual electors meeting. That has been rescheduled. Previously, it was advertised for this evening, but to meet the minimum public notice requirements, this had to be postponed. The annual electors meeting is now the 12th of February 2024, 6 p.m. at the Kalgoorlie Town Hall. Councillors, item 2 is attendances by the Mayor and other elected members, noting that it has been quite a busy, believe it or not, January and late December. All items are there as per sent to you this afternoon. Councillor Councillor Turner, you raised an item with myself that was missing on the 22nd of the 1st. And that was a roundtable which was conducted with the KB, CCI and police. And can I also note in that we did have 6 councillors in attendance at that particular meeting. And of those 6 councillors, we had the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Bodica, Councillor Johnson, Councillor Brownlee, Councillor Turner and Councillor Viskovich. The CEO and myself were tied up in a meeting that morning under our local emergency management legislation and were unable to leave that based on our role, especially with recovery and the point that we're moving into a recovery mode. I also note that we did also attend many meetings, Mr. CEO, and can I make mention it's not captured in that particular report because I wish to bring that to a separate item at next month's council meeting once we have the opportunity to debrief. And applaud the Deputy Mayor and also Councillor Turner for their attendance alongside the CEO and all directors for the Operational Agencies Support Group, which met twice daily during the energy disruption. There were some long meetings, but very productive, and they concluded this morning with some very good responses from the emergency services agencies on the City of Kalgoorlie-Boulder's contribution to that, and it is to be applauded by all. So thank you very much to the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Turner for their commitment as part of the Local Emergency Management Committee, but also to our staff as well, and all of our staff across the entire organisation, from our customer service team to those at the Oasis and many in between. It was a very hectic few days. Item 11. Sorry, councillors, any further questions of that point to update? Councillor Winner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a note, on the 25th of January, we also held a Regional Joint Development Assessment Panel meeting, which was attended by myself and the Deputy Mayor as the 2 representatives, and Councillor Turner sitting in as well.
Thank you. Thank you for your attendance there. And we'll note that as well. Item 11, confirmation of minutes, that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 18th of December last year, feels like so long ago, be confirmed as a true record of that meeting. Can I have a mover for those minutes, please? Moved Councillor Winner, seconded Councillor Johnson, with Councillor Bodica out of the room. Any discussion, councillors, on the minutes? No discussion. I'll take that as carried 8-0. Item 12, motions of which previous notice has been given. Councillor Winner has given us a motion of which previous notice has been given. Councillor Winner, please state your motion. No need to stand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The motion is that Council requests the CEO to report to Council on options and costs for the activation of the Kalgoorlie Town Hall for it to be open to the public, including full use of toilet facilities.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Seconded, Councillor Turner. Councillor Winner for discussion.
Thank you. Habit of standing. My apologies.
Sorry, Councillor Turner, you have an amendment to that particular item?
Just wanted to amend the wording slightly on it with councillor Winner's agreement, just so that we've just got for activation of the Kalgoorlie Town Hall, but I'd like to just amend it so that it reads that council requests the CEO to report to council on options and costs for the, and add in for the full public activation of the Kalgoorlie Town Hall, because at the moment we've only have for the activation, so full public activation of the Kalgoorlie Town Hall and for it to be open to the public, removing the words with the toilet facilities, because if it's, and my reasoning is, because if it's open to the public, we don't need to have that there because the toilet facilities are part of it being
That's
open.
fine. Councillor Winner, happy with that? Excellent. Councillor Winner, we'll take that amended motion as your motion and you are moving it. Go for it.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. And I'd like to commend Councillor Turner on the amendment to the motion. I think it does give it a lot more strength by including it as a more broader concept from there. The rationale behind this motion is we have an absolutely fantastic asset here in Kalgoorlie-Boulder in our town hall. And unfortunately, I feel that it's just not being utilised anywhere nearly where it should be and needs to be. It's in one of our historical buildings. It's an iconic tourist attraction. And given its location, we are doing our community and ourselves a disservice by not having this site activated at a much higher level. And this motion will enable the CEO to provide council with viable options and costings to allow council to explore ways to share this. We want to share our landmark with our city in much better ways, with our community, with our visitors, with everything. We've seen how successful the town halls do work, particularly with Boulder Town Hall. So it'd be great to see Kalgoorlie Town Hall go in the same direction. I'd like to ask councillors around the table to support this motion to allow us to obtain the necessary information required to make some really informed decisions about this wonderful site moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Councillor Turner.
Yes, so obviously I support councillor Winner with the amendments. Our town hall is one of our most iconic buildings in the city. But not only that, it's one of our most prominent locations. People that get off the train, for example, walk down Wilson Street and the first main building that they come to is our Kalgoorlie Town Hall. It saddens me greatly that it's closed for various reasons, and I know that staffing and costs have been a huge issue, but obviously we need to have it staffed because we have a lot of treasures in our town hall. It's pretty much a treasure trove of the city. There's so many things in there that not only our tourists but our residents would like to see. When I walk past and I see the doors locked, it makes me feel very sad. And I know that so many people say to me when I'm walking down the street, why can't we go into our town hall? Because it's our community's town hall. So I very much support Councillor Winner in this, and I really want to see our town hall not only opened, but I want it to be activated. Whether that's bringing back our fantastic tours, we have our wonderful sporting hall of fame, and we can't just have people wandering around the town hall because we do have so much expensive and very important things. So I just commend Councillor Winner for bringing it, and it is something that I know the new council we've talked about at length at all our concept meetings and all the other different things that we talk about. I know every single councillor in this room is very proud of our town hall, and I know, like me, I'm sure that they get a little smile on their face when they step into the town hall. So I'd like to be able to share that with not only our residents but our visitors to our city as well.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Noting that Councillor Bodica returned at 7:28. Speaker against? Speaker for? Councillor Johnson.
Yes, thank you. In a previous life, going back a number of years, I was a school teacher in Kalgoorlie-Boulder, and I used to lead tours through this town hall, and it was open to the public basically from open get-go at the Tourist Bureau until they shut. So having that revitalised and that happening again would be fantastic. School groups, I've been in here when it's been closed and they walk straight past, which is a very, very sad thing. These kids coming into our community are coming to get an image of a gold mining town and a prosperous inner city, a desert city, if you like. And I think our town hall reflects a lot of that by just the history around the room we have here and the hall itself and the provision of the services that are provided through our tourism precinct just below us. In regards to our town hall itself, it is an icon and it's one that we do need to move forward with. We've always had it, when I say move forward, in the way that it needs to be reopened and we need to have and encourage people to come, walk around and, as we say, live, work and play. That's what we want. But we also want them to be educated in our city and what we can do, and especially this council, because this council is responsible for many things in this community, and I think we should be singing that from the rafters. Our history is important. Let's get it to happen.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Speaker against? Speaker for, Councillor Bodica.
Yeah, seems funny sitting down. Sorry. Look, I think that that's a great idea. I hate to see any building sort of like wrapped up in cotton wool in the way that this building has been sort of, for some time. I think we need to have more public access, that the public can come in and appreciate how beautiful the building is. I think it's also very underutilised, our town hall. And I think if we get that flow of visitors coming through and flow of people that are coming in to come and have a look at it, it will certainly be, added attraction, something for people to do. And I really support it. I think it's good. As Councillor Johnson said, we're sitting on a really iconic, beautiful heritage building here, Federation building, something that we should all be proud of and something that we should be happy to show off to the public.
Thank you, Councillor Bodica. Speaker against? Speaker for, Councillor Brownlee.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Having previously run tours in the town, and tours of which commenced at the Kalgoorlie Town Hall, it was really an honour for me to be able to show some of the people just around down the bottom of our town hall where the main entrance is, but then to try later on to explain to them what's inside, what it looks like, and not only to tourists but also to family members of mine that would come and visit Kalgoorlie-Boulder, and nephews and nieces that are growing up here in Kalgoorlie-Boulder. So I'm definitely excited to see what our CEO comes back with regards to the options to fully activate this particular space, and I'm sure that with an increased flow of people, if we're able to do it, I'm sure that is something that we could use to leverage more support to be able to really protect and to preserve this great piece of infrastructure that we have here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brownlee. Speaker against? Speaker for? Speaker against? Before the mover has a right of reply, can I support the particular motion? I note that obviously the CEO will bring this back, but councillors, we had the Premier here last week sitting in this chair who remarked just exactly how much of an iconic building this is, and I don't know of any other council chambers around our region or potentially around our state that would have this sort of feel to it. Many have demolished theirs and moved on. The local governance of our community all comes from this particular table. I'd like to be able to show it off on more occasions. My only concern with the town hall is the accessibility. We don't have any offices that are downstairs that are council related, which I'm sure, Mr CEO, you will address in your report, or we just get the lift working, but that's okay. We'll move on those particular options because I think we've got such an iconic building here, and both the Boulder Town Hall as well, to be able to showcase for our community, and anything to help activate those spaces is greatly appreciated. Mover has a right of reply.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll keep the reply nice and brief. The words spoke around the table tonight do echo, and we're all on the same page in that we are very fortunate to have a building such as this, and the opportunity to share this with our community and the wider community outside of Kalgoorlie-Boulder is too good an opportunity to pass up. In order for us to continue to see opportunities come through and attract people and even activate our Hennon Street, we've got to take a lead. So by us looking at ways to activate the Kalgoorlie Town Hall, the flow-on effect is you'll see other retailers looking to activate it further. You see more people stopping into our cafes wanting to have a drink because they've just done a tour. As Councillor Brownlee's highlighted, it's a starting point for many things. Our tram kicks off from here. It's close to our train station. It's such a critical part of a bigger picture that we really do need to be looking at ways to ensure that we can get the most out of this building, both for us as a council and for us as a community moving forward. So thank you all, and I hope you'll vote in support of this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Councillors, I put the vote on the notice of motion, of which due notice has been given from Councillor Winner with the amendment as well. Those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried 9-0. Item 13, urgent business approved by the person presiding or by decision. There is nil this evening. Item 14, reports of committees. There is nil. Item 15, councillors, I'd like to move a motion that the following items are moved en bloc this evening. Item 15.1.1, which is the Statement of Financial Activity for November. Item 15.1.2, which is the Accounts Payable Report for December 2023. Item 15.1.5, which is the Financial Hardship Policy Amendment. Item 15.3.3, which is the Kalgoorlie-Boulder Cemetery Board Partnership Service Agreement variation. Item 15.4.2, which is the award of tender T003-2324 supply and installation of road stabilisation works. And item 15.5.1, which is the award of a tender T006-2324 corporate CCTV access control. I'd like to move that we accept those items en bloc. Do I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor? No discussion. Carried 9-0 that those items have moved en bloc, which takes us to item 15.1.3. And as has been the new case, our commercial business reports for 2023 are here, highlighting our endowment, water, waste, oasis, arts centre, golf course and airport. With the absence now of the commercial business committee, the officer recommendation is as follows: that council receive the quarterly commercial business reports for the period ended 30th of September. Do I have a mover for that, councillors? Item 15.1.3 for the officer recommendation. Move Councillor O'Donnell. Seconded Councillor Brownlee. Any discussion, councillors? No dissent. Carried 9-0. Item 15.1.4, council committees and working groups, which has an officer recommendation in there to disband 2 committees and 5 working groups, and also appoint Councillor Brownlee to the Museum of the Goldfields. Do we have a mover for that officer recommendation? Councillor Bodica to move. Seconder, Councillor O'Donnell. Any discussion on 15.1.4? No discussion. Carried 9-0. 15.1.5 was part of the en bloc. 15.2.1, the Local Emergency Management Committee update, noting the LEMAX agenda notes and supporting documentation, and also Department of Communities public version. We do have a redacted version that is available to councillors. Item 15.2.1, mover for that particular item. Councillor Turner moved. Seconded Councillor O'Donnell. Discussion, Councillor Turner. Thank you.
Just like to briefly say I'm moving this motion that we found out firsthand in the last 2 weeks how important our LEMAC was, as that was obviously the precursor to the other board committees that we sat on. And just to thank yourself, Mayor, and I'll take the opportunity to thank yourself as chair of that, and the promptness, or how quickly you pulled everyone together on a morning when we had no communications, that you managed to get us into a meeting at 12 o'clock that day. So thank you very much, and hopefully the public will become more aware of such an important committee and how much it helped them get their power back.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Councillor O'Donnell as the seconder. Discussion for, discussion against. Mover has the right of reply. Councillor Turner, no reply. Thank you. No dissent. Carried 9-0. And thank you, Councillor Turner, for those nice words. Item 15.3.1, appointment of Kalgoorlie-Boulder Youth Council. We do require an absolute majority. Councillors, we do have an appointment tonight for a term ceasing at the next ordinary local government election, which is 2025. For Emily Stewart, Erin Winchester, Summer Nichols, Rosa Nichols, Gabriella Mullen, Elisa Jackson, Zion Puyuan and Kyle Callaghan. Do we have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Winner. Seconded Deputy Mayor, Councillor Winner.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I very, very gladly will move this motion tonight and speak in favour of it. And I'm absolutely thrilled to have this amazing group of young people once again nominated to be on a youth council. Our Youth Council has increasingly played a bigger and bigger role in our community and have provided fantastic advocacy for the youth of Kalgoorlie-Boulder in so many key projects, including Youth Week, Youth Fest, and the soon-to-be-commenced Youth Precinct. These 8 young, wonderful individuals, who also, I would like to note, includes the 2024 Kalgoorlie-Boulder Young Citizen of the Year in its ranks, offers wonderful continuity to our community given they have all served previous terms in our Youth Council. I look forward to working closely with the Youth Council over the terms, and I'm very excited to see what they can achieve moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Deputy Mayor? No. Any further discussion, councillors? No discussion. No dissent. Carried 9-0. And congratulations to our new Youth Council. Item 15.3.2 we have dealt with previously with that alternate motion. Item 15.3.3 was part of the en bloc. Item 15.4.1, the quarterly report on major projects. Mover for the acceptance of the report, councillors. Deputy Mayors to move. Seconder for that report. Councillor Viskovich. Deputy Mayor, wish to speak? Go ahead.
Thank you. I would just like to thank the engineering department. As far as this goes, it's a very thorough report and there's a lot of work gone into it. So I'd like to thank everyone involved in ensuring everything stays on track, and if it's not, that we're kept up to date in a timely manner. So thank you for this report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Viskovich, discussion? No. Councillors, any further discussion on the major projects? None taken. No dissent? Carried 9-0. Item 15.4.2, part of the en bloc. 15.5.1, part of the en bloc. Item 16, questions of which due notice has been given. 2 questions from Councillor Winner. Councillor Winner, would you like to state your first question, please?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. My first question is, can the CEO please provide Council with an update as to the purchase and installation of appropriate shading options within the Kalgoorlie City Centre space, with a particular focus on the children's playground area?
Thank you, Councillor Winner. Mr CEO, response?
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll get the Director of Engineering to provide a detailed response.
Thank you, Director. If you'd like to come forward to the podium. Go ahead, Director.
Thank you, through the Chair. For the shade sales, the PO has been raised early December for the shade sales for the poles, and they're ready to go. The contractor, we're just awaiting what's happening with the Aldi building, because it's a tough area to get into. So once we make a decision on what's happening with Aldi, we'll know how to progress with the installation of the poles, but they're all ready to go.
Thank you, Director. And question 2.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Director. Question number 2 is, can the CEO please provide Council with an update as to the installation of permanent toilet facilities within the St Barbara Square precinct?
Mr CEO?
Yeah, through to the Director of Engineering again, Mr Mayor.
You stayed there for a reason. Director, go ahead.
Okay, in regards to the toilet block, we're expecting the certificate of design compliance to come through this week or next week. And once that's done, we've already got someone to build it. The time is 12 to 15 weeks to build it. There is one issue, and that's the issue of the Heritage Council. Knowing what's going on in this precinct going forward, we'll have to speak to the Heritage Council and see how that goes.
Mr CEO advising me that the Director of Development and Growth may have some further information in regards to that as well, Director.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wish to advise Council that the State Heritage Council, with sign-off from the Minister, has listed the whole of the city's endowment block on the State Heritage Register. So in order to do major modifications and building works, we'll need to liaise with the Heritage Council before undertaking works. And obviously that will apply to all works going forward. We're in the process of engaging our Heritage consultant and with the Heritage Council to get kind of clear guidelines on what that might mean going forward, both for our existing tenants and future tenants.
Thank you, Director. Councillor Turner.
Just a point of clarification now that those questions have been answered. I note on page 40 of the agenda on our projects on track that there was a brief mention of both the toilet facilities anticipating to be commenced in the 3rd quarter of the financial year. and that a contractor had been appointed for the shade sales. I think perhaps Councillor Winner wanted a bit more clarification, but perhaps with those toilet facilities, given what both the directors have just said, we may have to look at the dates there, and just a point of clarification that they are on
CEO.
projects on track and they'll remain on there.
Yeah, thank you. Through the Mayor, certainly we'll be reviewing that. The heritage listing advice only came through last week, so that was new to us at that point in time. We were understanding that it was in process, but the actual announcement was made last week, so that will have an impact on project delivery times, but they will both be updated for the next report.
Thank you, Mr CEO, for your responses. Item 17, confidential items. There are nil this evening, councillors. Item 18, 26th of February. See you back here for the next ordinary council meeting, and I now close the meeting this evening at 7:46 p.m. And thank you all for your attendance. Thank you to the public and to the media. Thank you to staff and to elected members as well. Have a good evening, and sunsets at the Sound Shell coming up on Saturday night. Holy Holy.